Hey everybody, I hope that you are all doing well. In the pre-shuffle, it seemed like this is going to focus on a close relationship that you have, but it's also going to be then connected with your relationship with yourself. We are starting off with Seven of Pentacles. When we have this, it can be a time of kind of looking things over, making sure that you're on track. I think on the track that you want to be on, making sure that this is what you're putting your time and your energy into, that it's like primarily cultivating what you want within your life, like looking at it, do I feel happy with the choices that I've been making? Do I like what this is building in my life? Do I like the vibe that this is giving off to me as well? So these things can be just something that you're checking in about. It feels like a little bit of a review or like a checking over. Making sure that if there's any part of this process that you're looking at and you're like, I don't want to be doing this, or like, do I really feel happy with this part of things? When we have Eight of Cups, it's kind of on a spectrum. Like sometimes we look at a whole situation and we feel unhappy with it, and so we will exit it entirely. Other times with the Eight of Cups, it can be looking at something and saying, I don't really like this aspect of it, or participating in this way, but I like those other things about it. And so there can be a little bit of a rearranging that we do just to make sure that you feel good with the way that you're showing up here. And that you're not doing anything for reasons that you don't want to be doing something. I definitely get this sense of you walking away. I wonder too if this is just highlighting that there have been things in the process of you doing this that you have had to separate from and stand your ground to do that. Like if you have something going on, and this feels again like a culmination of stuff that has happened. When you've had stuff going on and you look at it and you're like, I'm not going to be happy with this. I don't want to keep putting my energy into it because I know it's just going to be the same thing on repeat, and I don't want to have that particular thing on repeat. There's been this kind of like tireless, I'm not going to give up on what I'm looking for. I know that I can find what I'm looking for. I know that what I'm seeking is somewhere and that it is available. And if I make sure that I don't settle, I'm going to be able to connect with that. And it feels like this is actually how you're investing in a life that you feel happy with at the end of the day, by not settling and by continuously connecting with the things that you feel speak to you and resonate with you. And this is the energy that you're growing up into. And so this feels like maybe a time when you're thinking about things. Because when we get to this point, it can be like, is it good that I'm making these efforts like this? Or is it something that I need to rethink? Is this a good method really for me to be using here at the end of the day? I don't want to give up on the stuff that I care about, and I want to make sure that I'm not fighting for something that doesn't hold significance or meaning to me. And so it can just be like making sure that you're looking at those things, making sure that you have kind of everything in the right order, and also too that you're not giving up, because this feels like this isn't even you investing in a particular thing. This is you investing in things that align with what you're going to feel happy with, whatever those things may be. Satisfied, at peace with, you feel like it meets your needs, you feel connected with it, these things. And there's something here about making sure that you're not being pulled somewhere you don't want to be, or kept somewhere that you're not going to feel happy to stay. Because if anything is conflicting with what you would more deeply resonate with, those things have to be addressed and worked out. I just see this attitude, this mentality of, I don't want to give up on the dream that I have for my life. And I will do whatever things I need to do to ensure that I'm showing up in a way that I admire and that sits well with me. Because I really don't get this sense of you really allowing anything to stop you. But there can be a lot of things that have to be faced, like what you're learning. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. What you are learning at this point, what you have been making so much progress with, what you have been going the distance for, is this very real dream that you have, that you are very much in the process of realizing that you can find your life and the things that you're involved in interesting, that you can be working on things that matter to you, that you can be participating, walking down a path that you feel so excited to be walking down, and you get to make the choice that that's the path that you're on. But that also means too that when you have things coming up that challenge it, that there's a needing to face those things and work those things out in order to ensure that you're really where you want to be, where you prefer to be. And that really makes all the difference at the end of the day, and like not giving up on this pursuit of yours. Because this is what you're really going to feel happy with, and this is recognizing that too. And maybe there are a lot of things here that you feel like are culminating, where you feel like you're on the verge of achieving something here where you haven't settled repeatedly. Like you find a situation, you feel like it's not going to be it, you need to rework things, move things around, and it can be something that, I have, seeing Saturn here, this can be something that's been repetitively an experience that you've had, where you're like trying something out or getting involved in it, even like settling into a situation, and then you look around and you're like, this feels like I'm settling, I need to, or I'm having this realization now, or I'm realizing that these pieces don't fit, or I'm feeling like a calling over there instead, and like continuing to move. And this isn't just like endless seeking that's happening. This is more so when you know that something doesn't fit together, acknowledging that and not just holding on to it. This is releasing those things, knowing that the stuff that's more compatible, you will connect with those things if you're really honoring the way that you feel. And so having Saturn here, this can be a repeated lesson having to do with you really evaluating what you are investing in and making sure that it is aligned with what you will feel happy with and what you will feel glad that you chose, because you really feel resonance and connection with those things. And also working through separating yourself from the things that are not that for you. And so repeatedly, because I don't think this has just been one situation. This feels like repeated situations that have come up that have maybe felt challenging for you to close the chapter on, knowing that if you continue to do that, you are going to connect with the right stuff. And this can be like along the way you've been building, like you feel happy with this building over here within your life and that, and these are structures that you have within your life. Like maybe this was like, first it was happening with like your friendships or something like that. Then maybe some work stuff was coming out. Then, it can be in all of these different areas of your life. Maybe even stuff with like your health and your routine, trying to figure out what the right fit is for you there. Like all so you can find the one that is just right in all of these areas of your life. And there is a just right, and you know that. And when you're tuned in to yourself, when you're tuned into your gut, when you're tuned into your instinct, you know what the just right is, and you also know what the not right for you is. And again, because of having Saturn here, I feel like you are, in this last part of the spread, you are about to complete a a cycle, a very big cycle connected with having to do that repeatedly, which means that you are also on the verge right here of beginning something or of walking down a path that you actually feel so happy to choose. And I get the feeling like this is something that's been going on for a while for you within your life. And that all of it has been really meant to teach you discernment and also the consequences of what you invest in, for better or for worse, for happiness or for fear, you know, like this type of concept here, and making sure that, I mean, even just getting a better understanding of like why you invest in what you invest in, and if that's really cultivating what you want, or if you're avoiding conflict and so you're remaining in situations that your heart is no longer in anymore just because you're avoiding conflict. So these are things that can be showing up too, that I think this is stuff just that you've moved through already at this point, where now you're like, okay, I'm getting it now. I really understand it now. And so this feels like another cosmic understanding that you have under your belt at this point. And I do see that you have something going on right now that you feel, it feels like a right fit for you at this point, and it feels very much like I'm willing to do what I need to do to protect this and to walk this path, because I did all of this work just to get here, and now I know for sure that this is going to be worth it to me. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.